Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be talking about something that really does contradict a lot of the narratives that we see online with being yourself. And I'm going to start by saying this because really quickly, this video is not to get into anything other than just being the person you need to be to achieve your goals. That being said, guys, never be in places with people or just doing things that are going to make you compromise your morals, your values, and just everything in that area of your life. Don't do that. That's really dumb and that's really ill-advised. That being said, let's hop straight into it. So today we're going to be reading a tweet from Charlie Morgan. He's a very famous internet marketer. He's actually really smart and really intelligent. Go follow the guy. Really good content. But that being said, here's what he says. You can't be yourself and have your goal. Because the truth is that if you were the person capable of achieving the goal, you would have already achieved it. You must let go of who you are to become to be the person you need to become. That last sentence I messed up on, but you got to let go of who you are now to become the person you need to become for the goal. That being said, guys, I want to hop into 3 practical points that I mulled over and that I learned from church recently, and I really want to share that with you because it's on my heart, because not only do I want to be the person to achieve my goals, but I also want you guys to do the same. So hopping into straight point number 1, blessing requires movement. And what do I mean by that? Well, first and foremost, like the tweet says, that you gotta let go of who you are now to become the person you need to become. The only way you do that is by movement, not by, and I'm not telling you to run 10 miles outside. No, you have to move in certain areas of your life. If you are very emotionally unstable, then you have to start moving to things like therapy, really breaking down your emotions, really just sitting with them, right? Really just start to move on the fact that you're trying to heal or solve this problem in your life. Okay, let's just talk about money, right? If you make no money, just off the basis of that, let's just say we're all in high school, we're just 18, we really don't know what to do. Well, let's just start by getting a job. We have to get up, go to work, and we have to earn a paycheck. That's very simple stuff. Blessing requires movement. Okay, now let's go into the higher level things. Okay, cool. We want to make $10,000 a month. Okay, cool. How do we do that? We got to get skills. We got to find a marketplace. We got to find something that our skills are very valuable to certain criteria of people. That's just first and foremost. But that all requires movement. Blessing requires movement. It's very simple, but very hard to execute. Here's a couple notes on that. First of all, God will bless the movement, not the desire. He's gonna bless the movement, not the desire. You gotta understand that. God gives us all desires. He gives us all things that He places on our heart. But He's not just giving you that for it to sit there and then poof, it's there. He's blessing the movement that comes with that. The trials and tribulations, the things that you're gonna go through to get that. That being said, you're also not going to know everything that you need to know to go through to get to the blessing. You know, it's going to seem a little cloudy. You're not going to have all the clarity, but clarity is done by movement, by going through what you need to go through. That being said, you need to have a faith bigger than your ego and pride. I wrote that down, and that's a whole other video in itself, but you really just need that. You got to give up what you want. You got to give up the things you think you need, and really just become and go after the person that is achieving what you want to achieve. It's out there, it's possible, it's real, it exists. You're conceptualizing that in your mind. But the faith needs to be there. The faith in God needs to be there, and the faith in yourself that you can do it. That being said, here's a little tidbit too. The reason why I bring up a lot of Christianity in my videos is because I really don't want to achieve my goals without God. I've seen both sides of it. I really think achieving goals with God is a lot better, and it makes you more fulfilled than without. I'm going to say that straight up. I highly recommend it. If you are new to faith, stay with the channel. Just stay with me, because I promise you it's really good. But that being said, let's hop into point number 2, and I'm going to read the tweet again. I'm going to read the last sentence, where you must let go of who you are to become the person you need to become. Point number 2 is God will stretch you thin before giving you the blessing. You see that constantly throughout the Bible. You see it so much throughout the Bible that it's almost like a prerequisite. Like it's almost needed to happen. And I know that seems scary. I know it seems daunting. But to take the pressure off of it and deflate the balloon a little bit, it's actually not that serious. Because a lot of times when we're actually, you know, in the midst of the storms and everything going on around us, it seems like it's very like the world is ending, but it's only in our minds. It's only conceptualized in our heads. And I don't say that to, you know, take the heat off of some things, because some things are very serious. But if we really just park the bus here for a moment and take a deep breath, like, it really is only as bad as our minds make it out to seem. That being said, in a practical sense, if you want to make more money, you have to learn more skills. What do we have to do by learning more skills? sitting and watching YouTube videos, going to class, getting a degree, doing something. He's gonna stretch you thin before the blessing. You have to go through that. That's just a part of the journey. You're not supposed to know everything you need to go through to get to the blessing. For that, people A, would never do it, or people B, everyone would do it because they already know what's gonna happen. But that's not how God works. That's not how it's supposed to work. That being said, you're supposed to step out in faith and do it regardless if you're angry, sad, depressed, upset, happy, joyful, shocked, amazed. Like, regardless of what you're feeling, you're supposed to step out in faith. Faith moves things. Faith causes movement. We walk by faith, not by sight. Very simple concept. Stay with me here, because I myself, I want to be a new person by December. I myself have been wrestling with things with God for over the past 2 years, but I needed the courage and faith to make the movement happen. And I promise you, for you guys, do the same thing. Regardless of how you feel, your faith needs to be bigger than your ego, your pride, and your emotions. You have to really root yourself deeply into the Lord so that we can make it happen. We got to let go of the person who we are now to become the person we need to become for our goals. I'm not even talking about goals in themselves. That's a whole other video, but you got to stay with me here because that's very important. And that's something I'm going to really remind myself moving into September, October, November, and December. I got 4 months left of the year. I'm going to capitalize on it, and I want you to do the same. That being said, let's move into the last point and we'll wrap up the video really quickly. Faith causes a movement. And what do I mean by that? By your faith alone, people are going to be like, you know what? Damn, let me lock in. Like, damn, you know what? I got to do the same thing. Your faith alone and by your actions, people are actually going to be drawn to God. Because they're gonna ask you. They're going to be like, yo, how you get that new whip? Like, oh, yo, bro, you look good. Like, how you been lifted? You're just going to say, by God, by faith. I did what I needed to do, but God really helped me out. Your testimony, in order to have testimony, you have to be blessed. In order to have, like, you being here today is a testimony, number one. But in order to really add to that, you need to be, you have to be blessed by God to have testimony. It's very simple. For you to have testimony over your life, God has to put you through things and bring you out of things. God has to add to your life and take away from your life. Stay with me here because it's very important that you know that. Faith causes a movement. This is something that they were teaching in church, and it's very practical, right? You're going to be moving from old to new, and everyone around you is going to be like, oh, wow, like, dang, like, okay, maybe I should give it a try. So many of my friends have been really locking in with God, just let alone just because the way I move about my own life with my own integrity, the things that I left behind, the things that I'm like, you know what, I'm done with. I'm 24 years old. I don't want to live like that no more. And they were like, you know what? Let me actually give that a try. Let me just try it out. Them trying it out alone just builds God's kingdom. So we have friends, family, and, you know, all these wonderful things. And I'm going to get into this next point here. You know, all these wonderful things added to your life. Just know people are going to see it and they're going to be like, oh yeah, let me actually try, because I want a piece of that. I want what they have. I want a piece of it. That being said, in order for God to bless you, he's blessing somebody else. Here's what they said in church. Listen to this very closely. He said, your yes to the Lord is someone else's salvation. My Lord, my God, that was so good. What a good line. And here's what I mean by that. Okay, yes, we'll talk about money because money is a very big thing, right? If you want to be financially blessed, that's going to help out your mama, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles. That's going to help them. It's not bad for wanting money, especially if your heart is in the right posture for it, you know, and you're a good steward of your finances. It's not bad. It's going to bless other people. Like, for example, if you have a girlfriend, you have a wife, wouldn't that bless them? You know, wouldn't that bless them? And vice versa, if you have a boyfriend or husband, wouldn't that bless them? Very simple. Your yes to the Lord is someone else's salvation. And I'm not even talking about providing for them. I'm just talking about in the essence of like, oh yeah, like God has been good to Matthew, and Matthew has been good to me, and it's all because of God. Let me lock in there. Let me actually tap into the source right there. Very simple. It's hard to execute. Everything we're talking about in this video is very simple, hard to execute. And I like it a lot. I like the challenge of it. But I want to go through it. I want to see it for myself. So, in our collection of talks here, I really want these 3 things to be very practical for you to implement into your life. I could have said it a lot better, but I really want to get this video out there. I'm going to be doing the same thing for my life. I really want my life to change by December. I really want to post a whole recap video and give my own thoughts about it and the way I've changed. But that being said, guys, I hope you did get something out of this video. Let me know in the comments down below. And always remember, stay true, stay you, and stay blessed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.